What's going on, Exiles? My name is David, or With Honor, WITHONOR. I stream on Twitch with that name sometimes, occasionally. Catch me there, or just these videos. That's the only place I am on the internet, no other media. So in this video, I'm going to make a challenge guide, sort of. I decided to type it out ahead of time, which I'm glad I did because it took a while. Thought about doing it while I was making the video. Obviously would have been an error on my part, but here we go. So I am a 40 challenge gamer. It's my goals every league are as follows: complete the Atlas, meaning you get all 115 points here, all 132 points here, and subsequently all the void stones and that. First goal. Second goal: since Mage Blood has been in the game, I get Mage Blood. That is my second goal. If I can kill stuff, I do not upgrade my gear. Just kill stuff. Third goal: 40 challenges. For a very long time, that has been my approach to every league. And as you can see here, it's been going on for a while. I also have all of these as a reminder to myself about what it sucks, what it's like to suck at life when you just don't finish your goals. This is my constant reminder. So if I'm sitting at my stash, I see the failures more than the successes. But these trophies have a kind of a cool feature. Most people say it's not worth, and maybe they're right. Who's to say it's objective or subjective? But that feature is that when you are standing near them, it's kind of like being Russell Crowe in The Gladiator, because they will cheer for you. And I hope this is audible. Maybe. It gets loud and annoying sometimes, so I'll keep it off for now. But that's built into them, so that's neat. All right, so let's talk about the challenges. This will probably be a very long-winded video, and in case you're new to the internet, let's see how we can shorten it on your behalf. First of all, they installed this cool bar here that you can skip around. And I'm going to work backwards from 40 challenges. This isn't the video, obviously, down to challenge number 1. Or you can click this thing, speed it up, go double if you can understand me at that speed, and or just hit the back button and go do something else. So there you have it. Internet good. All right, so number 40. Although I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's called gear grinding goals for a reason, because they're very straightforward. You just do the same thing over and over again until you don't like yourself anymore, or GGG if you want to pass the blame on to someone else. You chose to do this, Exile. They didn't force you. Obviously, reaching level 100 is not easy for most builds and most players. Right. Number 2, become a cog and grind it yourself. Right. Become RF, do pox, or just be a mirror level tanky and never die. But or you could also just get one experience per map and run 25 billion maps and you'll get there. Either way. Or you can do what I'll do eventually. I'm level 98 now. I'm going to take the 5 way. It takes 40 to 45 on average. And 5 ways right now are about 3 to 5 divines per 5. So do the math, and they take about 8 to 9 minutes on average when you account for all the variables of time. And you can do the math on that. So I will probably end up doing this myself. Cleanse Dark Shrines. No thanks. Lab runners might do this quite easily because they know the layouts and it's fast and they have speed characters. And you guys are sick anyways. Activate Eldritch Minds, Altars, defeat Maven Witness bosses. You know, every time you load a map, pick one of these things, get credit. This one should kind of, if you do enough maps, you'll get it. 83 or higher rare monsters. Why did I type that? I think at this part of the guide, I was typing more literally, but I would rather just say 83 plus. Rare monsters with at least 4 modifiers. If you run enough maps, you should get it. And or there's the Scarab that allows you to make rare monsters better. Somewhere, I don't know, doesn't matter. One of these. This one. Horn Scarab and Nemesis. Nemesis. Complete tier 17 maps. Yeah. Why can't your league starter do tier 17s, bro? Because the streamer's bad. It's always his fault or her fault. Yeah, but just do those. You know what I should do is pull up my challenges. You know, I'm not there yet, but I believe by the time I have grinded out the ones that I'm missing, this information will be less useful. And so the earlier you can start to plan some of this stuff, the better shot you have of completing it, because some of these take a very long time. So number 40, I'm done 27. One of the first things I did this league after getting my Mage Blood is I just started farming tier 17s for money. And there's another challenge right here that requires them. So that one's somewhat easy, 50 to pay for carries. We'll see how much it costs. And then this tier 14 plus successfully by your map runners in King's March. My experience so far is that they have to, it's got to be at least average level 9, so like 2 10s, 2 9s, 2 8s, and they still might fail rare maps, but make sure they have to be rare tier 14s, and they have to do it successfully, not partially, 200 times. So this may happen just in the course of getting another challenge done, or just, we'll see. More than likely, I will reach 100 tier 17. This is what I'll do. All right, so on to the next one, number 39, Nightmarish Nemesis. Is that the plural? Whatever. I wrote Nemesis. So this is just completing all the tier 17s, one each at 250% item quantity. It took me a while to figure this out, and I saw on other streams people asking, how do you do this, to streamers that did do it, and I never heard an explanation. But there's an old tech that I haven't thought about in a while, which uses these things. And so when I ran it, these were like 28 to 30C, and I thought that's too much. But each of these are 5%, so you have to run. You cannot do. You can't do like 5 of these and get 25%. It has to be one each. They can't be stackable. So you could do 4 of these and 1 of these. That's plus 45%. When I ran it, I did 3 and 2, and so that was 40% on top of my maps. The number that I had tested and ran, it was like 156%. Came out to 251% with the fragments and the multipliers. The multipliers being at the top, so you can use any tree as long as you pick up all these points. That's going to give you your best chance. And then also within the maps, if you spawn eater altars, you know, make sure you don't pick one that's going to lower your resistances, but you can get more quant if you fail to meet the 250. But pick a downside that's not going to brick the map, and that can help you get there as well. So, or you know, if your league start can't do tier 17s and your second build can't do tier 17s and your third build can't do it, you can just, it's only 5 maps, and currently I see them going for 1 div each per carry, 5 div total. And then did I skip one? Night. What is this? 39. Where did that go? What is this mismatch here? Usurpers? Oh, I was on ignoring the completed ones. Rewind, that was 38. Now we're on 39. Just do the Uber Pinnacle bosses. I'm surprised I didn't do this one, but it's also the easiest, I think. And that just makes sure it's this version and not the fragment versions. Easy enough. And it's only 5 things, or actually 4. Not terribly expensive for carries if you need to pay for it. Challenging competitors. These are the new, if you play the King's March and you send out ships and I haven't done many maps yet, You just do the things, you'll encounter these. The Black Knight is in the Starfall Cavern in maps. You'll see him. I don't know anything about the mechanics to explain that because I phase him before he even does anything. But you just have to do 4. Uh, if you play enough, you'll get enough practice, or you can watch videos. There aren't many yet. Realized Realms. Okay, so to unlock the 6 map device, you have to, I believe it's just complete the Maven quest for 10 bosses and an invitation, and then get a tier 17 map completion. That's it. And use 10 Maven chisels, right? If you do enough Atlas progression, Curex Vault gives you 20 free ones. So that's just kind of a freebie right there, isn't it? Hiding invitations. One trick that I found, which I wish I had known earlier because it's much easier than the way I was doing it. I was running, these sets of 4, do the invitation, roll it to 75% plus, which means I'd have to do 40 invitations times 4 maps. Lots. But what you can also do is run things that go into here that you can alch. If you can alch this invitation, it will count. So I have listed here Rising, Screaming, Polaric, Incandescent. If there are other ones, that's cool. But all those ones that just sit there usually and go into standard, roll them to 75% plus and get some credit towards that extravagant equipment. This one is fairly straightforward. Just sack some currency onto an item. I haven't done it because I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to make something useful or just throw away money. Uh, Obviously, you're probably not going to use Hinocor's Lock or Miracalandra. I have no idea how much a itemized reflecting mist costs. Probably won't be it, but one of these other 7, you only need 6. And then agitated adversaries. So the easiest, in my opinion, actually, while I was writing this guide, a friend invited me to King of the Mist because there's 2 ways to do it, and I've tried them both. I think it's hard to know. But the ritual of meditation. So there is a key. It's an audience with the king key that comes from rituals. I think that's what this means. Oh, ritual meditation is there's a specific ritual in that. So, and then ritual of dance, I think is this thing called the Twisted Burrow. I have never encountered it myself. A friend invited me and we attempted it. So basically, the key takes you straight to the king, which is easy if you can kill him without getting hit, and then run the maze and kill him again. And then Ritual Dance, I believe, is in the Twisted Burrow. As best I know, I have not found any good information. But this version is essentially as it was in Affliction. You have to navigate the mist, follow wisps before your timer or your darkness or whatever that they called it then runs out. You don't find him. Too bad, so sad. But he is in there because when we exited after failing, he had that one of those line items, which if you remember from Infliction League, you had to hear that twice, and then you knew the next time you went in, he would be there. But it was something like that. So I don't know if you have to encounter Twisted Burrow 3 times to find him, or if the first time is good enough. I have no idea. Lycia at the end of Sanctum, you just kill her without getting hit uh, by her those white spinning. I call them halberds. Um, It's the same as Tier 17 Challenge last league. Zaro in the Empowered Endgame, so it's one of the fancy goddesses for level 83, obviously. And you just kill him without getting hit by Ornamental Cascade, which is sort of, it looks like a ground slam, right? He hits the ground and then it spreads out in front of him and gets a little wider at the end. like a brownish tan color. Syndicate Mastermind, defeat Katarina without getting hit by her sculpture. There's a statue in the middle, and it basically shoots things down lanes and whatever. Just don't get hit. And all the Crystal King, I put a little note in here. Gross, is your name Steve too? Who does Delve? Tremendous Township, fully upgrade King's March. I don't know what else to say. Just if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. Doesn't matter what the max rank is. No. Monstrous Memories. So there's memories are those things that you apply to your atlas, and it gives you 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 memories, and you run the maps, and they have different modifiers. I think Crystal Prisons is the easiest one, probably the cheapest / easiest, or you can just run any of them until you get all this done. But Crystal Prisons are the essences, and they have lots of modifiers. So that's the way I did it. And be careful; those will become very expensive the longer you wait. All right, Arduous Atlas. Obviously, this is our map grind this league. This is one of the easier ones, I think. And this takes me longer because I don't val maps most of the time, because I just want to run a guaranteed thing rather than gamble every single time I roll a map. Even though I can do most mods, and I just don't want, I don't know, a little bit of OCD or whatever. But you should never have to worry about this. And when I start running tier 17s, or when I start farming tier 17s for gold and whatnot, this will add up very fast. I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it if you play long enough. Sanctified Scarabs. So I wrote down a few ways. Obviously, you can do tier 17s with Scarabs, which I did it before then because I was farming Alva for another thing that will come up. And it's easy. So you can do 8 mod maps, or just Alk Scour till you get 80% with 4 Scarabs. Lots of ways, but it has to be 75. And they have to be tier 16, by the way. You can't do just red maps. They have to be tier 16. It's pretty straightforward. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm still running Alva. Again, I think Steve's third cousin twice removed could probably get to 400 level, but yeah, why are you delving, bro? Red Beast, I think I haven't even engaged Einhar at all on purpose. This is just him showing up uninvited and on 10%. If I did the Atlas passive strat for Beast, this is the easiest, the fastest. But when I was looking at this at the start of the league, I thought, I don't want to have to sell beasts because it's awful to me. It's a lot of trades. It's a lot of things, capturing, putting them into itemization. But this is also the easiest if you're in a time crunch. Betrayal safe houses. This has a lot of uses. You can make money, and this is the second fastest. This was my other option, and I basically got 9 just, I don't even know why I did 9. But, to farm up a Katarina and also get veiled items. So I did that for the other challenge we already covered. But I went back to Alva because this makes a lot of money, but this takes a lot of time. And you could obviously just run white maps and get it done. But I saw this entire list of 40 and I thought, I'm not going to focus each line item that hard. So I've been doing this, making gold, making currency. Because if you get a Locus of Corruption or a Darius on Institute or both, you're talking about 90 to 95 C, 70 C for Doriani's ish, and 120 C ish for a double with each. So I've been making a lot of money off of that. But time, mid, money. Ambitious assignments. This is the worst league challenge I have ever seen. Play SimCity, do the bidding of your NPCs, become their slave to gather materials. I hope some balance comes to the numbers and drop rates before you worry about this. So this is week 2 or end of week 2. I hope you're not pulling your hair out like I am with this stuff. Or maybe you started running port quotas early and they were cheaper. I think that's some people say that. Some people say go into an SSF or private league or something like that, and make a new character and get all the way there, and then do a second farm. Like, how is that easier? I'm not sure, but this is hello. This is the worst league challenge I've ever seen, or can remember anyway. Cross contamination. First of all, these possessed ones. What I wrote here is why is Torment still in the game? See number 2. Uh, I don't know. People might have strats. Go ahead. Syndicate member that is possessed. eh, Go ahead. I mean, if there's 4 much easier ones than worrying about those, and 2 of them you can do at the same time, or with the shift and scarabs or Atlas passive tree shift, right? But harbinger and breach, you just add a whole bunch of harbingers and breaches. Find a breach that's near a harbinger, and you can actually kind of kite harbingers a little bit, get them near dead, pop the breach, kill the harbinger. It's real easy. Breach lord while affected by shrine. Add domination, add shrines. Use the scarab that guarantees a breach lord. Easy. Blight boss while delirious. I had been running blight strategy for a long time, so to me this is just add delirious to the map. And there's 2 ways you can use there's a scarab that adds a blight boss or several, and then there is an Atlas passive that turns 1 lane, if you can kill them, into all blight bosses. Um, so that's fairly simple. You don't need the Atlas passive strategy to do that. You can just force it with either the map device or scarabs. And then delirium or beyond boss while in sacred grove. Beyond boss seems a lot harder to me because if you kill too much stuff all at once on the way to the harvest, you're going to lose the boss. So if you can navigate this or find a strategy that works, I think the delirium one was easier. And you just pick a map that's pretty small and predictable, like Glacier. And from my experience, it has to be a mirror. You cannot do a delirium orb. I tried it. Maybe that's not working as intended, but you have to use either the scarab that adds delirium mirror or the map device. And I'm doing a harvest strategy. You can use the harvest scarab to force harvest, and then just kill stuff. Try not to spawn all the bosses before you get there, and then just cross your fingers and hope one spawns in the grove. But Glacier is a tier 13 map, so just run them until you get it. It's probably a 50-50, right? Listen, I already covered the possession. I went out of order. Gleaming gems, level gems to 20. I mean, if you play long enough, that's just part of the progression. Or I also wrote down buy level 19 gems and do a 5-way if you're really lazy. Gem cutter prisons, just right click, left click, right click, shift left click. Just do it. I think getting 40 gem cutters naturally is probably the hardest part of that. Turn in divination cards that get you a level 21 gem or 23 quality. There's lists. I didn't put that in here. That's why this is a guide, sort of. It's not comprehensive. And then use the divine font at the end game labyrinth. Now there's 2 ways to do this. Well, they're all divine fonts at the end game labyrinth, but you could do a gift of the goddess, which I think is 6 or 8. I did one for a different challenge, and but I already completed this because I was doing Uber lab carries for people because I'm nice like that. But you just go and you click that font and use it to modify a gem. Which if I were you, I would bring some Ice Nova, just some level 1 Ice Novas, because you can sometimes get maybe easier on Merciless, but I don't know if that counts for endgame. But just bring some Ice Novas with you. It's a blue gem. Convert it. Make 125 to 135C for that build that everyone's playing. When I did my Gift of the Goddess, by the way, however many chances I got two, what is it, Ice Nova Frost Bolts. And so I made a whole bunch of money doing that. Sanctified. So this is kind of a good reason to work backwards if you think about it this way. If you do this, 4 scarabs on 75 masks, that's already 300. And if you do 5 like I did, that's 375, and then you just make up the rest. But if you're running maps long enough, you'll just get that, right? Remarkable Realms. This is the same thing we have every league. Complete all of the unique maps that are on this atlas. And if you ever hang out G1, this is for you guys. Bro, stop asking in chat for help with MPQQ tiers. It's not required. All right. People keep wanting to run Hologram Masters and bait you into it or something. I don't know. Just ignore them. Have at least 250,000 gold in the King's March. As Dave Chappelle once said, I'm rich, bish. I don't know why I thought that was funny when I wrote it. So what I did was I just ran maps and I let it collect in my inventory. Because I think it's funny that this game sort of mimics reality where the best savings account currently is your pocket because the banks are spending all your money when you give them access to it, right? So don't deposit it. Hold on to it until you have 250 and then deposit it all at once. Otherwise, you might spend it and get frustrated, or you might do that anyway. All right, so chaotic creations. You just use a chaos orb on league specific item. Experimented are from blueprints. They're in those treasure cases at the end. They're the colorful yellowish looking items that some people use. I don't know. I thought that one was the most awkward to do. Obviously, running blueprints takes a lot of effort, and trying to buy one of these might be more C than chaos than any of the other ones. Ritual, it's just one of the funny looking ones that has a awkward double implicit, the bird feet and whatnot. Or you can just run rituals and find one. Atlas, it's so funny that by the time I was looking at this, these items weren't on my loot filter, and I couldn't be bothered to go back and. But these are like the stuff that didn't drop in campaigns and drops in maps instead. So it's like the slightly better bases, but not as good as. Well, I don't know. I don't know if these are better. Abyss, obviously, Abyss jewels. Just pick one of those up, chaos it, drop it back on the ground. You're done. Expedition. These are runic items. They're the ward bases. And one of the missions or one of the things you send out gets you runic. So you don't have to do expedition to get these. You don't have to buy one. Just send out boats and you'll get a runic item. Hit it with a chaos. Give it to rogue to disenchant. Rogue equipment is the heist gear that you put on those guys in heist to make them better helpers, better minions. And then cluster jewels. I mean, come on. All right, Peddler's Produce number 2. So I put in, why is that offset? Oh, you know what, I'm not even gonna fix it. Prismatic orbs, or prismatic ring. What you do is you get one of each of the 2 stone rings and sell it to the vendor. That's very easy. And you may accidentally do this stuff if you sell too many rings at once. You might accidentally do that. Orb of fusing, just sell a 6 link, you know. They're worth less. They're worth what, 4 to 5 C with bad, even good rolls. Real orb is like the chaos recipe. Basically, you just you get one item for each slot and sell it all at once. And I don't think a 2-handed weapon works. So you have to do like 1-handed and shield, maybe a 2-handed and a shield, or maybe a bow and an arrow. It's been so long, and those items take up so much space that I haven't even tried them in a long time. Just get 2 weapons They don't have to be equipable together. Just 2 weapons, weapon shield, whatever. Can't do 2 shields. And it has to be, for this one, 75 to 100. And then chaos recipe is what, 60 to 74. And then grassweed malware weave. And I have here in my stash an example because I knew this was going to happen. And I'm saving up, in case a friend needs help. So you just sell 60 unique rings all at once, or you sell 60 breach rings all at once, and you'll get that one done. Define destiny. So you only have to do 3. I have only encountered 4 out of 5 diviner strong boxes because I had strong boxes on my Atlas tree for about 10 maps, maybe. I wasn't a fan of this league. Turn in divination card sets, just periodically go into your, hopefully you have this tab because otherwise it'll be awful. Just turn in random stuff, full stacks, just turn in anything. If it's junk, sell it. Complete tier 11 or higher maps with at least 1 divination scarab. So, that 5th scarab that you're running on the other thing, or just throw in a divination scarab for 25 red maps. Easy. Scry a map. So there's this guy named Nameless Seer, and this works, guys. It actually works. Now, I don't have video evidence because this was before I started streaming the other day. I was just doing boring invitation farming for the inciting invitations. I was just farming, I think it was, yeah, it's in the picture. This is a strand map, and I drop an apothecary, and it was not juiced. It was just an alk-and-go. I was farming Elder Slayer, Cyrus Guardian maps to do invitations. There's nothing special, no scarabs, 35%. It's just an alk-and-go map. Bam, apothecary. Just get lucky, guys. But it does work. Anyways, what happens is a Nameless Seer will appear in a map, and whatever map you see him in, you will pick another map. So you'll click on scry a map, and it'll bring you here, and the map you're in will be whited out. Every other map will be flashing, and so you just pick a map and you link it. So, right, like a common strategy for a lot of people, Defile Cathedral drops the apothecary. I linked it to the map I keep running, which is Strand, and I run Strand because it's simple and it drops Fortresses, which is the easiest tier 17 for me. So, killing many birds with 1 stone. So that's not hard. Achieve Ascension, just do all the labs. Like, you should be doing this anyway. Make your character great. Okay, GGG. What the heck? What the hell? What the? Why is this number 17? There's something that was not play tested about this. Right? Before Uber Labs, just use 1 of each power rune. All 10. Or runes, not power runes. I'm saying power rune because it's because this is what, 1 divine now, and this is all 2.5 to 3 divines. My suggestion is make this challenge 0 out of 8, right? Because then most people can just go up to mountain, which is still a little expensive. Or based on its placement at number 17 on this list, make it 0 out of 7. So if you do 7, now if you're one of those, ghost loving wand Andes, you have probably already completed this a million times over. Good for you. But I don't know. If I never drop these, I'll just buy them. But for now, I'm going to sit on this. This might be my last challenge, or maybe, I don't know. This is just ridiculous. This needs an update. GGG, please. All right, unbelievable undertakings. All I'm going to say is, if you do other challenges, you'll probably complete this. If you do any sort of Atlas strategy, any strategy at all, you'll do this. Just do your favorite ones. You can see my favorite here in the video. Not putting it on the list. Well, my favorite was Harvest. Well, 3. what is that? 3 5-ways? Or not even 5-ways, just 1-ways. The easiest ones to me were these, and I breach was on accident from doing the challenge. All right, number 15, potent Pantheon. Why aren't you doing this? You know, I mean, I did them all because I haven't used Solaris yet this league, but I've used Ericali, Lunaris, and Brine King, and I only have one character. I've used them all for various stages in my gear and experimenting with different auras and stuff. But, you know, at least get Soul of Aberith so you can run Burning Ground maps. That's it. Just 4 Divine Vessels and 4 maps that complete 1 major and 1 minor. And this is the downhill part. I don't know why I'm explaining these other than completing the video. Kill 500 map bosses. And I wrote here, if you're a G1 Andy like I am, if you're worried about this, you probably quit the league already. League dead. Crafty currency. Yeah. Right click orb, left click thing. If error, try something else. Make green words, guys. Okay. Refined reagents. If you run maps, if you start the King's Marks and you run maps and you give rogue things to disenchant, this will just happen. I'm not even going to scroll the list anymore. Although, what? I mean, proven professionals. Again, you can force it or just run maps long enough and you will encounter these guys, right? I don't delve other than the campaign quests, and I don't Lionheart because it's just annoying to deal with beasts to me. Meaningful mechanics. Again, do what you like, not what I like. Or just run maps and they'll happen. Atlas augmentations. They'll just show up. You just click the things. Run more maps. That was my advice. Powerful prey. Shout out Tai Tai. These are optional quests in the campaign. Unless you want to be like Tai Tai, why did you skip them in the first place? Are you a speedrunner, bro? Come on, just do the quests. You'll get regrets and stuff or items that might help you. Act 2 adversaries. I did make a note here because this happens every league. For some reason, the Brine King does not get completed. And typically what happens is they'll do a hot fix or something, but I'll end up running the Reef map and I get the completion then. Or at some point, if you run Reef map before the hot fix, you'll just get an updated credit for this and a challenge will just show up completed randomly at some point. It happens every league. I don't know why it's always the Brine King, but anyways, fun historical note. Basic beginnings when what is his name? Johan. When Johan shows up, is it Act 1? Just follow his instructions. That's all it takes. Antagonistic acts. If you don't know what it does, just click it. What's the worst that could happen? Not hardcore viable, guys. Just click the thing. Act 1 adversaries. Again, just complete Act 1, Peddler's Produce. I did put a list here, and I have made this public. I'll put the link, I hope, in the description. But, or you could just Google POE vendor recipes and then Control F, search for the thing you're looking for. Easy enough. Starting settlements. Oh, this is where Johan's initial requests come in, and then the other one is slight progression from that. No big deal. And beginner basics. I put a very detailed list. If you need the information right here, equip a magic, blue flask, use an armor alchemy. Right click, then left click on a normal white item. Kill a rare monster. Their names are yellow and sometimes harder than bosses. Beware. Fully clear the fetid pool. It's that door in the League Start graveyard that everyone skips, but gives you 2 times regret orbs. Do it once for me, for us, for you, for this challenge. Again, are you Tai Tai? I don't think so. All right, so that's it. That's all the challenges. If I got something wrong or I didn't cover something in as great a detail as you like, leave a comment below or check out my stream if and when I'm streaming. Twitch.tv/withhonor with one H, WITHONOR. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time. Maybe.